Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Sweden Armwrestling Television. And I have the biggest honor in my YouTube career. And I have in front of the other screen here, whenever this is gonna be, I have the 32-time world champion, Gabriela Vasconcelos. How are you doing today or tonight?
I'm very well, thank you. Just got home from a hard day of work, but I'm well, thank you. And also honored to be on your show and very happy to share.
That is very fun to have you here, and I do know a thing or two when it comes to stressful work. So I am very, very grateful that you are taking your time to be a part of this show. So that is very, very appreciated. The main question is, how did you come into the sport? Were you drawn to it by some friends, or were you feeling naturally drawn towards it?
Yeah, I didn't know anything about arm wrestling before I started. I used to be a gymnast, and I looked strong enough to be invited by a former athlete to try it on an official table. And even though I didn't say yes, she kept on taking me to their training room, and I did well, even though I didn't know anything. And then I was too shy to say no. I didn't want at all. I didn't like it, but I didn't want to say no because they were so excited about me being strong. And then I said, okay, yes, I'll go. And then 3 weeks later, I was state champion.
Really?
Yes.
That is impressive. Wow.
It is. And I was only 12 years old, and it was like senior classes.
Man. That sounds
Yeah.
almost like Elin. Oh my
And then
god.
like I say that I have this gift of being very good at arm wrestling, and arm wrestling found me. I didn't find arm wrestling; it found me, and that's it.
Yeah, and we are very lucky that we had found the Iron Angel to be a part of the arm wrestling community. So, since you are, since you are, since you said that you were doing gymnastics, is there any history in your family that they are being big and strong and all of that?
Not really, but my parents, especially my dad, they always have been into sports. My dad plays, I don't know if you know, it's a Brazilian martial art called capoeira.
And
It involves, you should look into it because it's very interesting. It is a martial art that was developed by the slaves in Africa, so they could practice their martial arts without it. They like their owners wouldn't realize that they were practicing because they were disguised as a dance. So it involves dance and martial arts, but nowadays it's a cultural patrimonium of the world. So it is very interesting, and my dad has been practicing this since he was like a teenager, and my mom always liked the sport as well, but no one really pursued like being an athlete as a career. So but I do got the genetics from them, and my parents has always been very supportive, especially my dad. When I talked to him about arm wrestling the first time, he was super happy, and my mom didn't want it because I was already very committed to gymnastics. And my dad, no, she has to try it. And he was very supportive, and he was the one who convinced my mom to let me travel my first time to compete in the state tournament, which was like, I don't know, 2 hours drive, but I was 12 years old. I didn't know anyone. So yeah, I think I got the genetics from them, but they're not like big and super strong. So it's a gift I have. I think I got the best of everyone a little bit.
It's very nice that you had the support of your father, since usually when I talk to a lot of people, they are not getting the support from the family and all of that, and they're just saying, yeah, you just do your thing and all of that. So the support from the nearest and dearest, like in the family, are very important in my honest opinion. So
yeah,
that is
it
very,
is,
very, very
especially
nice.
because I started. Yeah, since I started as a kid, I
Mhm.
mean, it was either they were gonna support me or I wouldn't even start it because I wouldn't have how to drive myself to practices or to tournaments or to pay for anything. It was just 12, so it was up to them to allow me to start this. So I'm very grateful for it too.
Since you have now been in the arm wrestling world for quite some time now, do you have had any, or still have any, idols in the arm wrestling world? And can you tell us a little bit about them?
Yeah, at the beginning, I've always been very bad with names and first. I don't know. I used to be good at it, but now I don't. And and I just remembered that everyone would tell me, "Oh, the Russians are super strong," and I think I grew up with that in my mind. So every time I was going up against a Russian, it was just, oh my God, this is it. I have to win it. If I want to be someone, this is the match that I have to. I didn't know them and I didn't know their names, and I just knew that they were Russians. And I think it's probably because they win all the world championships, like even as a team. It's somehow cultural here in Brazil that we kind of worship the Russians. Obviously, nowadays it's not that much because we have more access to information. We can look into other athletes and we can know about athletes from all over the world, and it's changed a lot. But from when I started, it was all about the Russians, and then obviously I had to get to know like John Brozink, even not in person, but he was someone that I looked up to. And later, when I started being more involved, I've always admired the Swedish female team. So they've been an inspiration for me because they were like the whole thing. They were good, they were pretty, they were friends, and like they were something that I always looked up to because it was something that I liked seeing. So I kind of wanted to be like it. I wanted to have it too. So I've always wanted to be around them, and they were good at wrestlers as well. So they had the whole thing, and that was very inspiring. I don't have like someone very specific that I trained based on that person or anything like that, but I think that in the very beginning, I knew the Russians were very good, and then when I started to be more in world championships, I was always admiring the Swedish team. So these are something that I have in my mind. And like the idols that everyone has, obviously, then that's what I said, John Brozink. Like I can not mention him because even today, like I was with him like 2 weeks ago, and I didn't even know how to say hi to him because I was so like, oh my God, it's John. That's what happens when you're a very fan of someone.
Yeah, and do and recognize myself when you are saying that every time you are near John, you're always like,
Yeah.
almost like the arm wrestling goat just in front of us. Yeah. Since you are saying that you worship the Russians, and now you feel that they are a bit more beatable, the same mindset that you had is the same mindset a lot of the Swedish girls are having, even still to this day. Since they are always feeling that if a Russian is in front of us, then you really need to be on your tip of your game. Since I do know, since I practiced a lot with Heidi Anderson, especially when she was gunning for that world title, and we were always training so hard so she could be prepared to be able to beat the Russians that are in front of her, especially against when she was able to beat Irina Makeva at World Arm 2010 and literally the year after in Kazakhstan at 2011. So the standard that the Swedish arm wrestlers are having, especially in the female side, unbelievable. Really, really amazing.
Yeah, and yeah, I didn't know like by names the girls, even the Russians or the Swedish, but I had this feeling like when I face them, I know that it's gonna be harder than anyone else. So that was the plan, like to be ready for them. And I think it still is, but not that much because I guess like the last few years, the Russian women's team has faded out a little bit, but the ones that remain are still good. So I just think that our last very, very, very good ones, the ones that you say, oh, this Russia no one can beat. So it became more of a reality to have them like, it's just another opponent, and oh my god, it's a Russian. And that, I think today we have like maybe besides like Makeva that was like not being beatable in her class, they're Gladkaya and that's all.
Alina Samotova, I think.
Yeah, but she's super strong, but she didn't win her class. Did she?
I don't remember.
I don't think she won. Like, yeah, I don't remember. But I don't think she's being like dominant like they used to be. Even her, she used to win more frequently, and it's becoming harder and more like spread out the winners of each class from all different countries.
Yeah, that is
which is good because it's like it's not concentrated in only the Russians. I mean, it is good because it shows that everyone else is evolving too.
In one way, you can see that it is inspiring at the same time, since if everybody else can do it, so why can't you and I? So if since everybody was seeing that, the Russians, they are so unbeatable. They are all winning almost every single class. And when somebody that are not a Russian that are beating a Russian, they are thinking like, oh, they just show it is possible. Almost like that.
Exactly.
But when it comes to all of these opponents that you have been faced, who have been the toughest opponent for you so far?
Makeva for sure.
Yeah,
I had one pin against her. It was when she came to Brazil and we had this super match, both arms, and I got one pin on her right arm and that was it. Yeah. And yeah, I really admire her. She's super strong, very good athlete, and she's always been better than me.
I always admired Irina Makeva too, because every time me and Heidi was always practicing with each other, we will always tell the stories of how Irina Makeva was this unbeatable Amazon from Russia, just going to every class, just go on everybody that she was going up against. And that really motivated Heidi magnificently against her. But now we are not gonna talk about too much about Heidi. We are gonna talk a lot more about you. So
Heidi, though, is someone that I've always wanted to pull because we were never in the same class, but she is amazing, and I've followed her for so long, and I had this feeling that one day we would pull, but I don't know. I don't think she's coming back anytime soon, and it would be a great big thing for arm wrestling again in the women's class, but. I see that she continues to help our sport somewhere else, like somehow else, right? She still trains, and she trains with you guys. She helps PI, and it's very nice to have her involved some way.
The progress that she has been doing, especially with the training parts and showing up arm wrestling, because I don't know if you know this, but she is going throughout Sweden to different schools and teaching how arm wrestling is being performed and all of that. And there is not a lot of arm wrestlers that are going to different schools in different regions, in different towns, just to show arm wrestling. And for that is really respectable right there. So I really admire Heidi for that, definitely.
Yeah, especially because she's been in the spotlight, and now she's doing the behind the scenes work that it's much more it's much harder work, and she doesn't get the shines of it, but in fact she's doing much more than all of us, so it's very respectful, yeah, and we are thankful for it, because I believe whoever follows her and into her training or her knowledge in the wrestling field will be very well taught, and this person can have this code or whatever, they can have future, if they they can have an opportunity they didn't know they could have, and that means a lot.
Definitely. Now we are gonna talk about something that just happened to you recently, and the match that you had with Egle Vaikute, that was in my honest opinion, one of the highlights of the entire East versus West card. Even though you had Ungarbayev and Brzenk, Coach Ray and Bowen, and let's see, what more was it? Dave Chafee, Artyom Morozov, and all of them. But some reason they did not have the same type of feeling when the two best female arm wrestlers going at each other like this. It is very rare that you are seeing that. So how did you feel when you were finally able to beat her? And how was your overall feelings of the match as a whole?
Amazing. Actually, I still when I stop to think about it, I'm still surprised and super happy, amazed, but knowing that I really worked for it. I'm surprised that it worked, but it couldn't have gone another way, because I worked so hard, I trained so much, and I think I really deserved, but at the same time I can't believe it because it's something that I wanted for so long and so bad, and I've had people telling me that I was one of the best, the number one, but I couldn't never agree with that, because I knew I still had her to beat. Obviously there's a lot of girls that I haven't beat, but she is the overall champion. So if I wanted to be the best in the world, I had to beat her. And it finally happened. So I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe, because okay, and then I beat her left-handed first, and I was super happy. But I mean, all my recent super matches has been right arm, so it's still there was something to prove. And then when I beat her right arm, I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. I can't believe it. I was so happy and honored and like thankful for everyone who helped me train, my coach, my friends who were sparring at me, and the girls from Sweden that were there cheering us up, and Engin for making it happen, and like everyone, like so many people involved in getting this dream coming true for me. And also Egli is so nice before the match, during the match, after the match. Like it was like the perfect environment, and I'm very happy with it, and I'm gonna defend it with my whole life like now, because I want to enjoy it as long as I can.
Yeah. That match was very, very nice to see, especially since she was always this hand-dominant arm wrestler. She always usually are taking the hand of the opponents, and when she was able just to take your wrist a little bit like that, but the arm did not move, and I was just thinking to myself, if the arm doesn't move, she has this. And when you went, and I was just like, oh my god, she actually did it. It was very amazing to see.
Yeah. I was like, I knew that she had the edge with the hand and wrist, and I also trained a lot on straps. So I said, I know I'm strong, but I know that she has the leverage, she has the hand, and she has the wrists. I know I knew I was stronger than her, because I've never felt that I was much weaker when I never beat her. It's just a matter of technique, or like imposing her game. Like I knew that she always dominated me on my weak spot, but didn't mean that I was much weaker. I never could feel her strength properly, but I knew that today I was stronger than her. I knew it, and I had just to get in the right position to show it or to use it in my favor. And that's why I went on straps from the beginning, and because I knew that when it came to our strength, I could do it. So she got my wrist a little bit, but I managed to bring her back, which was like even more special, because I don't see many people doing that, or no one at all with her. So I was even like more surprised myself being able to do that.
Yeah, definitely. There are not so many people that have been able to do that against Egle. I think there was a long time ago when she and Irina Namakeva was competing against each other, but not since then.
Yeah, because I looked for videos of her pulling to see how she's been pulling recently, and all I could find was her videos with Makeva, but like 10 years ago. No one pulls the same way after 10 years. So I was like, okay, this is gonna be useless. I have to just go with whatever I have best and believe it's gonna work.
Yeah, but if something is not broken, it's not worth fixing. But that match was very special for a lot of reasons. But when you finally was beating her on the right arm and you could not contain your emotion, I was just like, that really warmed my heart. Definitely.
Yeah, because Yeah, I was just like very happy, and I couldn't believe, like, after it had been like 5 years since our last match. So many happened in these last 5 years, and there's always this feeling, and I knew that if it wasn't there, I don't know if we're ever gonna pull, because I'm not pulling Slutty Tour anymore, and she's not also pulling there. We're not pulling the same class at Worlds. I mean, it would have to be somewhere else than our usual fields that could make us meet. So I just thought, like, oh my god, this is happening. I can't believe it. I'm very happy. And was like very happy tears that came out of, like, I couldn't control it. And also because when I beat her left, I had like half an hour and I had to be ready for my right arm. So I couldn't even, like, I didn't have time to celebrate or to even think too much about it. I had to just focus on resting a little bit and then being ready for right arm. So both of us, we were just like there. We didn't do much after our left match. We just got ready for our right match, and then like it combined all the emotions and then all the things that we've been through, and then how nice everything was run, and then yeah, that was it. I just couldn't control myself. It was very special for me.
And it definitely was special for a lot of us when we were watching it. We felt like, also definitely very special. So yeah.
Yeah, it's just not like I keep thinking, and like it just makes me feel like crying again, because like everyone was so happy for me, and I was so happy that I was like, I can't imagine, because I was all sweaty, and then Ray came and hugged me, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm sweating. And then Malin came and hugged me, and I was like, I'm not gonna leave her now. And it was like super, super emotional, because I could feel people being happy for me as well, and then like I could feel that they were sharing this very important moment with me, and it felt very special.
And definitely was very special. You have an upcoming match, if I am not mistaken, and it is against the Slovakian giant Barbora. What are your thoughts about your upcoming opponent?
Yeah, she's young, and it's on the rising. Like she has like got some seconds and thirds, I don't know, but I remember a few years ago, like she not winning and crying about it, and then next thing I know, she was crying about winning everything, and I was like, oh my god, she's like on her rising path to a very great spot, and it seems like it's gonna last a long time. So it's not gonna be any easier. I think she does also have the leverage, her arm and hand size on her advantage, but I think I'm okay. I have just one reference video of how possible strong she is that the video of her pulling Egli after pulls of I think it was last year Europeans. And I saw that Egli could dominate her in strength and hand. Well, Egli could dominate in hand, myself in too. So I think if it comes to strength-wise, I'm ahead of her. But I'll have to be able to use my strength and not let her take my wrist or hand, that it's her style as well. So I'll see how it goes. I'm gonna train. I'm gonna try to improve my hand strength, my wrist strength, and I think I also like I train with the guys, so I'm used to training with thicker hands than mine, and I think I won't be so like surprised or feeling weird when I get her like big hand or anything like that. But I'll have to somehow be able to stop her top row.
Mhm.
And then if I do, I think I can successfully beat her some like through strength, not on her hand though.
Yeah, that is why I think the match are very interesting to be seeing that, but also very necessary. So we can have a strong indication how the ranking is. Right now, you are currently at the number one on the right and number one on the left, but we also need to see a lot of these matches that are in that ranking, so everybody gets a shot against each other, so we can have a proper ranking, so we can see how everything goes and so on. But
yeah, exactly. I think that's the way to go, because right now rankings are like, unless me and Egle recent match is just like based on different events and no one has faced each other. So as of now that we have the rankings, we should start making matches in between the top 10 or top 5 or whatever.
Definitely. And when we are talking about Barbora, I have watched her for a few years now, and let me tell you, she is literally one of the strongest. Is she like still a youth 21? I think. I mean, I remember when she was competing at the Slaughter Tour 2018 when she was still a junior and just ran through everybody there. Almost a youth or a junior going at Slaughter Tour in 2019 before this entire split and just went through everybody. It is not often that you see that. And now she has been winning at WF Worlds at the super heavyweights, I think, since they added a -90. Egla Vaikute are dropping down in weight, and she is going up there. And since 2019, she has been running through everybody. So that is very impressive of her, definitely.
Yeah, and like before, no one in the super heavies would beat Egle, and now that she is getting lighter and not pulling heavies anymore, I think it is like a new goal for me. I have to, if I want to be the best of all of them, I do have a new goal now, that is to beat the super heavy world champion. So and we're gonna find out in January.
And we are definitely looking forward to that match. Now, when you are basically going through all of the questions, how are your plans for the future? Are you planning to go to WF Worlds in Antalya?
It's going great. I have my flight booked, my hotel reserved. I just now need to drop this weight that I can't and to be in the 80 kilo class, which is not gonna, it's gonna be as hard as to win. So like it's two wars. I have like a war against the scale and then the war against the opponents.
Different wars in two different areas.
Yeah, completely. But I think, well, I've done crazy with dieting and losing a lot of weight in short times, and I just think I'll manage to do it again, because I don't leave another option to myself. It's just this or this. I don't have or that. It's just like, it's either this or you won't pull. And I put that in my mind, and that's how it goes. And then I just keep on counting days and grams and calories and and doing lots of cardio.
Yeah, that is the backside of when you're going down in weight, especially that much.
Yeah.
Since I have been seeing a lot of arm wrestlers that are. This is a funny story. I was at Slaughter Tour once, and I met this American, and he was at the 100 kilo class, and he literally dropped like, I don't know, over 20 kilos just to compete at the minus 78 kilo class. And I was just looking at him like, bruh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna see much less of those chicks. I hope so. when we were at Worlds, because oh my gosh, yeah, I got so fat, and I wanted, I needed, and I wanted, because I don't like the way I look. I was just not worried about that at all when preparing for Italy, because for the first time I didn't have a weight limit, and I was like, whatever. And it's worse. It's worse to train and to get ready mentally when you have to be on a diet and travel on a diet. So I was just enjoying the food. But now I'm not. I'm back on track.
Back on track as always. And now we are at the closing remarks. So I would like to personally thank Gabriela Vasconcelos to be a part of this interview, and also to be a huge inspiration for not only female arm wrestlers but male arm wrestlers as well, that the hard work that you are putting in are showing the results. So that is basically showing, if Gabriela Vasconcelos can do it, so why can not the other one? So at least for me and many others, you are very inspirational for a lot of us. So thank you for being a part of this arm wrestling world, and I hope that you are sticking for a few years more.
Yeah, well, thank you. I have to say, you are the person who is not Brazilian that pronounces my name better of all the world. So you are 10 out of 10 on that. And I am very appreciative, like, of even like being mentioned as an inspiration for anyone, even if it's a beginner, or even more for someone that's been in the sport and knows how it works. It means a lot to me. It's like it's something that I never was never my goal, but it's very nice to be in this spot. And I am trying, even like with my, you mentioned my YouTube channel starting, something like that. Even for that, like, what I want, it's not to be, I don't want to be the only woman having the spotlight. I know that I'm not, but I want more, not for me. I want more for the female arm wrestlers, and I want more for our sport. So I want to use this title that I have now of being the best of the world to help us all as a community. And I don't want it to myself. I want it to help the sport grow, and to help as many as possible great athletes to have opportunities like I'm having, though I'm not winning any departments like the Kazakhstans. But I'm just being happy of accomplishing my goals and being able to do that, and wanting to more people to have this feeling, and just by showing them that hard work, it can take like over 20 years, like it's done to me, but it's gonna pay off, and it's gonna be rewarding in your heart and in your mind, and it's gonna be great. And you're gonna know that, like, inside of you, you have this feeling in your heart that it's worth it. And then like everything that you've been through, and then every difficulties that you had, and all the love you put into it, it comes back to you in a way or another. And this is what I'm like getting out of it now, because so many people ask me why I do it, because I don't make any money. I don't have sponsors. I pay all for myself. I'm not famous. I mean, not even in my apartment here where I live now. My neighbors know who I am. So I do it because I love it, and because I love it, I do it. And I don't, being able to accomplish what I have, to know in myself that everything I've done, it's getting results, and I have support from my families and my friends and family. This is my rewarding, and also from the arm wrestling community. Like, I've been there in that event with so many people that I'm a fan with, and they were saying that they were my fans, and I was like, how come? Like, I'm your fan, and no, I'm your fan. Like, and this is crazy for me because it seemed so distant, and now it's getting closer, and I think we all have to embrace it and take it to make everyone grow together. And I think if it's better if I grow myself alone, like I'm the best in the world and everyone else is down there, it's not gonna make anything for me. But if I'm the best and everyone else is super good and super great and they're all getting good opportunities, then I'll be happy as well, like more happier, because it's not about me, it's about the sport. And then whoever it's coming to the sport can have what to work for, to look for, and then like it continues. Because if it's just me there, and then no one's gonna care, because it's not for everyone. It's something that becomes untouchable, and then no one will work for it. But if you see that you can do for everyone, I think what Heidi's doing, and then she's showing that, oh, look what you can get. So many great athletes being recognized and having great opportunities, then that's what I look for our sport. And that's also why I'm honored to be in your show and to talk about it, and having the opportunity to people know that this is what I want, this is what I wish for. Like, I still have many goals. I'm gonna be around for as long as I want, like for as long as I can take my arms, my health. I don't plan, I never even thought about quitting in any time soon. So you say a few years more, I say a few years, as much as I can. Like, so I want people to know that I'm not working, or that I don't want this title just to myself. Now that I got it, I'm not gonna keep it. I want to share with everyone. I want to share the experience, and I want arm wrestling to grow. So I will try to use it the best way I can. I'm trying to develop arm wrestling here in South America. I'm trying to help other athletes to have opportunities. So it is about growing our sport. And I'm sorry, I talk too much, and I have to say it.
No. You don't need to apologize. I was enjoying just listening to you talking. So I was sitting here drinking on my cup of coffee at late at night, and was enjoying the little sweet chats that you just had.
Yeah, cup of coffee at that late, you're not gonna go to sleep.
My girlfriend is gonna be really mad at me. But anyway, if you wanted to subscribe or follow Gabriela Vasconcelos on her social medias, all of them will be linked in the video description down below and in the pinned comment. So you can go over to her YouTube channel, Instagram, and just follow and subscribe so we can pump up that subscription. You are like at 3,000 now, I think. So let's get that to
3,000 something.
Yeah. So let's get that to even higher.
Please, guys, follow me. Subscribe to the channel. Follow my Instagram.
Yeah. So if you like this video, please leave a like, subscribe, ring the bell for notification, and share this interview around so a lot more people can tune in and be seeing this interview. So have a nice day. Stay safe to PRP and keep being awesome. Take care.